Every day I get a little bit more worried about this Austin real estate market and what it's going to do to the future of Austin. Jeremy Ninth Night Group, your favorite Austin realtor. Now look, if you've paid attention to my live streams, there's a comment made on my last live stream by Master Jedi, thanks for the comment, that really put a lot of things in perspective for me. And if you haven't watched my live streams, I definitely recommend you do that because there's a lot of great content that happens on there. It's just on my channel, go find it. But he said was in regards to the market. You know, we were talking about how prices were going 30% over list price. We're talking about how in this market, prices are up 22% over last year. How there's only like 0.4 to 0.5 a month inventory in Austin, only 0.2% in Hayes, and like 0.2, 0.3% in Williamson County. In fact, there was an article out that talked about why people are moving outside of Austin versus in Austin. Great read. Now back to this comment. It's actually a very good comment because it talks about that the Apple money is just now getting here. And if you think about it, Tesla and all these other big corporations, they take time to move out here. And now we're already in a market where things are selling 30% over list price. Buyers are basically having to sign their life away in order just to purchase a property in this market. And first-time home buyers, good luck. It is so tough right now. But thinking about this comment and thinking about how many more people are going to be moving here and the current perils of our market made me think about this and what made me a little bit more worried about what happens in Austin. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that are really worrying me, and then I'm going to talk about some of the actual things at the end of the tunnel that might be great for Austin. So let's talk about that. Number one, the affordability. Now, everybody thinks of affordability as somebody moving and can't buy in Austin. In fact, what you're seeing in that article I've referenced is that people are moving outside of Austin because it's cheaper, right? The median price for Austin is around $422, but the reality is if you're gonna try to buy a home in Austin, you really got to be closer to the 7s, 8s, 9s, into the millions to actually buy in the Austin area. Now, you can buy out Kyle, Buda, around the surrounding areas in the 3s to 4s. And that's why people are moving outside of Austin. But affordability wise, there's two sides of this coin. One is the taxes. With property taxes, we're seeing values of homes increase every single year. And with big jumps like this, 22% increase, that's going to raise people's property taxes a significant amount. So from affordability wise, people that are on a fixed income, they're not going to be able to afford those property taxes. Now, over 65 exemptions do help, and there are just a homestead exemption that helps, but your property values are still going to increase at minimum 10% every year. And if you're not prepared for that, that's going to put a lot of people out. And what happens when they have nowhere to go? What happens when they sell and then have nowhere to go outside of Austin? Because now the prices outside of Austin are extremely high. Now let's talk about property taxes in general. Property taxes in the exterior areas of Austin are in the 3% range, which means that it actually hurts your affordability. What you could afford at $400 is now reduced if you're going buying somewhere in a 3% tax rate. And that's really tough. And in general, just people coming out here trying to have a good life and buy something under 400K is becoming extremely tough. So those issues of affordability going into the future kind of worry me a lot because I think we're gonna have some great people that can't afford to move into Austin and move out, which is gonna cause kind of a ripple effect in a lot of things. Now, the next thing that really bothers me is our transportation. Granted, we just signed Prop A and Prop B. That's going to affect property taxes quite substantially in the Austin area, more than what they let on. That's a video for another day. In fact, you could probably see my other video right here about Prop A and Prop B. That aside, that bill only did a little bit to help our transportation issues, and it's going to take years to actually build out. So that little tunnel that we're going to get and the speed train between the airport and downtown is going to take 10 years to get here. That's not going to fix the problem. If you think about it, and I was in a meeting with a builder and we're talking about a neighborhood in Kyle that's going to be building 2,000 homes. And I jokingly said to the builder, well, good thing they opened up 1626 to 4 lanes. And then it hit me. 2,000 homes could really mean 4,000 more cars on the road, which means that that shorter time frame from downtown to Kyle is going to be hit pretty hard because there's going to be a lot more people on the road.
Pretty heavy dose of don't build it and they won't come.
That sentiment applied to roads and homes.
Look, Austin did not want to grow for the longest time. It wasn't until the 2000s that they really started growing. So our infrastructure is very terrible. And right now we're in a pandemic traffic, which isn't that bad. But what happens when more people go back to work? What happens when more people go back to their offices? It's gonna be tough, and traffic times are gonna increase, and we're not doing enough, in my eyes, in Austin to help that. Yes, we've done some toll roads, but it's not enough for infrastructure. So infrastructure is something that Austin is really gonna have to get ahead of if we are gonna be this boomtown that Elon Musk says we are. And let's be honest, we really are a boomtown. Now, the next thing that actually has me worried is about utilities. Now, yes, we just did have the snowmageddon, snowpocalypse, and that really shed light on the issues we're having in Central Texas and in Texas in general. But when I look at the utilities, what I'm worried about is, like I said, I just met with a developer that's building 2,000 homes with Lonar and Kyle. But it's hard to get water there. And then on top of that, you're having to charge a PID, which is another tax, a developer tax, to get water there. So homeowners are gonna be paying like basically a Melrose tax in order to purchase in a neighborhood, which goes back to affordability, which goes back to pushing people further out, which makes it harder for people to purchase. So utilities are an issue, and we already have issues when there's a drought with not having enough water. So on top of affordability issues, transportation issues, we're gonna see some major issues when it comes to utility in the futures if we don't really do anything about it, especially when it comes to water. And that really has me worried about the growth of Austin. Now let's talk about the growth of Austin. Austin is developing like crazy, and there are new builds coming everywhere, all around the city. But right now in this market, even if you wanna buy a new build, builders are still not selling that many. You might be selling 2 to 6 homes a month, where they used to sell 9 to 12 homes a month. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Shortage of lumber. We've talked about these things on my channel in the past. In fact, I'll link a video right here that talks about some of the things when it comes to new builds. But our development is still far behind. We're not building enough homes to intake the amount of people that are moving here at this time. So what that means is that prices are still going to continue to increase. And with more companies moving here, over the long haul, while people think a crash is coming, while people think that there's going to be a lot of forbearance issues, those people that are on forbearance by next year are still going to have a lot of equity in their home, so they're going to be able to sell. So that's a good thing. If you're a homeowner now and you're looking to move out of Austin, it's a great time to sell. It's a great time to hold, because this market, I just do not see it crashing. Now, everybody's talking about this crash. 2022, there's going to be a crash. And even I, until I read that comment, thought we might see a crash in Austin. Interest rates have gone up, right? Interest rates will hamper how much people can afford. But at the same time, prices are not going to slow down. So people are going to have to go down to a lower price point and bid higher on that, which means that they might be coming out of pocket, pulling money out of their 401k, pulling money from other places to close just on a home. Is it worth it? That's up to you. So I told you at the beginning that I'd give you some positives about what's going on in our market, and I think this is it. And we've talked about this on the live streams. I think that you are going to see a lot more people move here. We're going to see some new innovative things coming to Austin, and with all of this tech coming here, we are hopefully going to be ahead of the curve when it comes to some of these things we've talked about. And so I think the growth of Austin is a positive and can be a positive depending on how we do it. And I'm excited to see some of the new businesses that open, some of the new tech companies that come here and bring amazing things. So that's my positives. Jeremy Knight, the Knight Group, what do you think about this video? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I want to hear your feedback. It really does make a difference when you do drop a comment and give me your feedback. So please drop that down there. I'd love to hear it. Have a great day.